When my grandfather came up with Carmex, it was really not intended as a public product. It was to treat his own dry, chapped lips and cold sores. Growing up here in the Midwest, my great-grandfather made salves and ointments, and my grandfather learned how to do that from him. It's just part of the family DNA. And I asked him, how long did it take you to come up with the formula? And he said about 2 weeks. From there, he bought white opal glass jars, and he chose the color yellow for the label because it reminded him of sunshine and it stood out on the shelf. And this is the original jar. It was made at a house on 68th and Meineke in Milwaukee on my grandmother's stove in the kitchen. And he would try to sell it from store to store during the Depression. If my grandfather could sell 1 jar per pharmacy within a day's drive of Milwaukee, he thought he could support the family. That was how he began selling Carmex. The number one question I'm asked is, what does Carmex mean? And it means nothing. He wanted a 2-syllable name that was easy to remember, so Carmex. I'm the 3rd generation at Carmel Labs with my brother.
I started working at Carmel Labs when I was 10 years old, and I have been there now for 48 years. At one point or another, I've done everything from sweeping the floors all the way up to now CEO.
The first thing I did when I started working there was just sit down for a week and read customer letters. This one starts out, "Dear Carmex people, I've been using Carmex for years and I love it. As a matter of fact, I use nothing else on my lips. It's a wonder drug." And you begin to see letters like this, and you get a sense of pride. It's a small jar, but you're solving problems that are significant to people.
The company was so small when I started. We were in a small room that was about 10 by 20. It just grew up that way and just, slowly expanded.
I think it was a series of decisions that each generation made over the decades that allowed Carmex to grow. When my father joined the business in about 1972 or 73, it was an entirely hand process. It was slow.
My grandfather and my father would pour the jars by hand out of a Pyrex measuring cup, and eventually it was hard to even keep up. My father decided that there had to be a better way.
So he modified a coffee maker into the first piece of automation, which was a pouring machine.
There's no way we could still be heating it up on a little stove and pouring it all by hand. My dad and grandfather were stubborn Germans, and so we believed in doing everything ourselves.
We went from a 12-quart pot, and we now make Carmex in a 1,000-gallon tank.
Over the last 25 years, the company has evolved in terms of its processes and a lot more automation, a lot more efficiencies used than the mom-and-pop approach that really founded the company.
As a family-owned business, it's a leap of faith to bring outsiders in to help manage the place. But we realized about 15 years ago it was time to bring in some professional managers.
It's absolutely exciting to be able to connect multiple generations to the Carmex brand. We're on a journey to build this brand around the globe each and every day.
We are pretty much worldwide.
Japan, Mexico, Australia, 40 different countries.
If I go to another country and I see our product, it's like, wow, hey, look, we're here.
So yeah, there's a real sense of pride in the family and the employees in being in these international markets.
Alfred, the founding father of the company, had a passion for innovation, so no stone goes unturned. We comb the globe looking for new technologies, new ingredients, new emerging areas of science.
My dad and I decided we wanted to come out with the squeeze tube, and the next progression was the click stick.
It's definitely exciting to be part of a company that has a spirit of innovation. And the most visible innovation that we're also proud of is at retail, seeing the new products when they arrive at the shelf.
We are really excited about 2 of our newest introductions, which are the Daily Care brand and the Comfort Care brand.
Daily Care came about by listening to the consumer, and they told us they've loved us since 1937. They loved the original medicated formula, but they wanted to see new and different from the brand.
The products are generally a direct response to hearing from customers. And we now make Comfort Care, and that was our first move into natural products.
We wanted to develop something that was truly novel and differentiated, not just yet another lip balm. Comfort Care absorbs into the lips and works with the lips from within to provide smoother lips, healthier looking lips, and significantly more hydrated lips.
The future of Carmel Laboratories is not going to be doing the same thing we've always done. It needs to be driven by innovation and embracing new products. This is our stick room. This manufactures all of our sticks, both domestic and international. This machine makes about 36,000 sticks an hour. So this is a good example of innovation in manufacturing and production. We have a motto that will accept failure at the hands of learning. If we're not pushing the limits and if we don't fail sometimes, we're not trying hard enough, we're not thinking differently. And so innovation is a huge part of that.
One of the things that's allowed Carmex and Carmel Laboratories to thrive for more than 8 decades is that we have a concern about the individual and their families and realizing that we're all working together.
My dad taught me how to treat people. I always wanted the place to be somewhere that people enjoyed coming to work. It was just a big family. It was great.
Concern for the individual is a philosophy that goes back to my grandfather and permeates through the entire business.
You know, really trying to get ordinary people, which I am one of, to do extraordinary things. And you do that by encouraging and creating an atmosphere that's comfortable for people to be themselves.
That's not something that you see in most of corporate America. There's a level of sincerity that you can't fake.
How's it going?
I still hand out the checks every 2 weeks.
Hey, how are you?
That gives me a chance to talk to people. What's going on in your family? What's happening?
We've always tried to help the community.
And we saw the Make-A-Wish Foundation and how impactful this was to the children and their families. And we immediately said, that's the organization that we want to work with.
We're getting to more stores in the United States all the time. And with that growth, I hope that we can always maintain the family attitude.
Throughout the organization, we all have big aspirations and believe that this brand and this business can do more. So that's really exciting.
So what can a customer expect from Carmex or Carmel Laboratories in the future?
In the future, from Carmex, you'll expect to see...
And we're going to move ahead. We're going to become a leader in the industry.
I'm excited to see the future growth of Carmel Labs. I'd like to see,
There's big things coming, and we're really excited for them.